Dear students, myself Dr. Nadeem from Biotechnology Department of KMC Language University. Continuing on the previous lecture of that proteins, the leftover topic is of protein structure, also known as conformational structure of protein. It is very important. What are the different structure, how they are stable, and what are different types of bonds that are present, which is responsible for the protein stability, and what are the examples and the different structure of proteins. These are mentioned today in this lecture. So what is protein structure? Actually, protein structure is maintained by different types of bonds. They are both covalent and non-covalent bonds, especially non-covalent bonds, which are responsible for higher order structure starting from secondary to quaternary structure. These provide stability. Which bonds? They are non-covalent bonds. So here one by one we will show what is the bonding present in primary structure, then going on to the higher structure, what are the changes, what are the different types of bonds that are present. So here it is clear from this picture that primary structure is composed of only amino acids joined by peptide bond. No other bond is there, and peptide bond is a type of covalent bond. While in the case of secondary, it is composed of two types of structure, alpha helix and beta sheet. So in both the cases, there is extra bonding apart from peptide bond, that is known as hydrogen bonding. What is the difference? In alpha helix, it is the intramolecular hydrogen bonding, while in case of beta sheet, it is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So it is the same, hydrogen bonding is same, but the term is different. One is intramolecular inside, while other is intermolecular between two groups of different beta strands. So what is the additional bonding which is present in tertiary structure? Here the additional bonding is all other non-covalent bonds, that is van der Waals bonds, hydrophobic interactions and electrostatic interaction. Beside, important point to note, there is also a covalent bond that is known as disulfide bond, which is also present in the structure of tertiary structure of proteins. So this tertiary structure, it is responsible for proper folding of protein. Unless and until a protein is properly folded, it can't become active. It is non-functional. It is unstable. So to maintain the protein functional property, tertiary structure has to be compulsory attained for a protein having single chain. Another important point to note that those proteins which have single polypeptide chain has to be compulsory attain this tertiary structure, means it is the properly folded structure, also known as three-dimensional structure. Otherwise, if there is a more than one polypeptide chain, then that protein has to attain quaternary structure. These are more complex, more folding occurs in this quaternary structure having more than one polypeptide chains. So one by one we will see what is primary, secondary and tertiary. These bonds I have mentioned for the types of bonds present in a protein structure. It is covalent. Under covalent there is peptide and disulfide bond. While in the case of non-covalent, these are van der Waals, short range repulsion, electrostatic, hydrophobic and hydrogen bonding. This is the primary, secondary and tertiary structure for proteins having single polypeptide chain. So these all structure, whether it is the primary, secondary, it is present in the tertiary structure. These are not different. These are not separated. A single protein having single polypeptide chain has this tertiary structure. It includes both primary and secondary structure. And in the case of primary structure, there is no folding. It is linear. Amino acids are joined by peptide bonds. While in case of secondary structure, due to the additional bonding, I have told you, that is hydrogen bonding, there is interaction. Folding is start here. from the secondary structure, alpha helix and beta sheet. How they are folded? This is through hydrogen bonding. Interactions between amino acids are taking place, those which are nearby. This is responsible for this folding in the secondary structure, while in the tertiary structure, since I have told you, there are other extra bonds are coming into the picture. That is, example are hydrophobic, electrostatic. So these are responsible for other types of folding due to interactions between the amino acids. So this is the whole primary structure. I have told you there is no extra bond beside peptide bond, and amino acids are linearly joined in a straight chain. There is no folding. And what is this primary structure? How can you define? It is the number and sequence of amino acids joined through peptide bonds in a linear fashion, in a linear manner. So, for example, this tetrapeptide, lysine, leucine, tyrosine, glutamine. It is an example of tetrapeptide, means it contains 4 amino acids. So, in this case, the sequence can be changed, but the number of amino acid same. Secondary structure, I have told you, it is due to the hydrogen bonds. So between which groups the hydrogen bonding is available? It is the amide hydrogen and carbonyl oxygen of the peptide backbone. Since there are many amino acids in a single chain, so interaction takes place between one amino acid, amide hydrogen, and other amino acid, carbonyl oxygen. Now this is alpha structure proposed by Linus and Pauling in the year 1951. You have seen it is similar to the DNA helical structure of a single strand. It is similar due to the bending of chain and interaction between different types of amino acids. Due to the hydrogen bond, it is stable. So in this case of alpha helical structure, there is intramolecular hydrogen bonding. This is the basis of difference between alpha helical and beta pleated sheet, although both are secondary structure. So here the intermolecular hydrogen bonding is existing. Now these are the examples of proteins which come under these alpha helical, beta conformation and triple helix. There is also another structure which comes under secondary. It is known as triple helix. This is not, do not confuse that this is not a tertiary structure. It is a secondary structure known as triple helix, and the best example is collagen, which is a fibrous protein. Under alpha helical, the examples are alpha keratin of hair, feather and nails, while in beta sheet it is the silk fibroin. Now these are the some of the protein having only single chain, I have told you. So they have to attain tertiary structure in order to become active, functional. So these examples, chymotrypsin, they have alpha helical in this percentage, while beta conformation in this percentage. So in most of the cases, you are seeing here that alpha helix is predominant. Most of the protein, alpha helical percentage is greater in comparison to beta sheet. And in one case of protein, that is cytochrome C, there is no beta helix, no beta sheet, only alpha helix is there. So in some protein it can be possible, only a single alpha helix structure is there, no beta helix. With the tertiary structure, so these types of protein like fibrous proteins have only single type of secondary structure present in tertiary structure, that is only alpha helix, no beta, while in this globular proteins they are more complex, so they have more than one secondary structure, that is alpha helix and beta pleated both structure is present in case of globular proteins like albumin and globulins. And fibrous protein example is collagen. This is the three-dimensional structure of myoglobin having single polypeptide chain. Important point to note again that the similar protein, that is hemoglobin, it has more than one chain, while myoglobin has only single chain. That is why it's come under tertiary structure, while hemoglobin comes under quaternary structure. Another example of protein having enzymes like ribonuclease, it's come under tertiary structure, and is more complex because both alpha and beta, both the secondary structure are involved in this type of tertiary structure of ribonuclease. These are the bonds in tertiary structure. I have told you. It is more clear from this picture what are the types of bond. Here we are seeing that the disulfide brick. This is the most important bond. Also, although it is covalent bond, and covalent bond are always weaker than the non-covalent bond, but it is present in the higher order structure, providing stability to the tertiary structure of protein. So, between which amino acid it is existing? It is existing between cysteine amino acid. This disulfide bond is between two cysteine amino acids in the nearby chain. I told you the example of quaternary structure. It is hemoglobin. It has 4 chains, 2 alpha and 2 beta chain. Another example is immunoglobulins, also known as antibodies. Example is IgG, which contains 2 heavy and 2 light chains. So this is all about today's class and protein lecture. Thank you, everybody.